Once upon a time, there lived a very fat man. He was walking along the street. As he was about to take a right turn, his hand mistakenly hit a basket that was in the hand of a beautiful girl named Nora. The basket fell down, and some of the fruit rolled on the ground. He quickly apologized to her while picking up the fruit and putting it back in the basket. He told her that if she don't mind, he would help her hold her basket until she reached where she was going. On their way, they began to gist. She told him that her uncle was very sick, so the fat man decided that he would go into their house to greet her uncle. As they entered her uncle's room, her uncle was surprised to see her with a guy. Her uncle said,
"Young man, what is your name?"
The fat man replied, "My name is Emeka." Then her uncle said,
"Finally, my prayer has come true. My honest prayer is to see the man who will marry my daughter. Emeka, please hold her hand forever."
And that was his last word. The fat man began to sweat profusely. He asked Nora, "Your uncle said I should marry you, what do you think?" Nora said, "I would marry you, but promise me that you will not marry another woman." The fat man has never planned to marry. But he has no other option than to marry Nora. Because he can't disobey the dead uncle, 7 days after they got married, Emeka went to the farm, where he saw a lady named Nosa. She was trying to harm herself. She has poured 1 gallon of petroleum on herself. Ready with matches in her hand, Emeka shouted, "Please don't do this, don't harm yourself." She told him that if he dares make another step towards her, she is going to light up the matchstick. Emeka was good with kind words. He wants her to tell him why she wants to commit suicide. Nosa said, "My marriage was cancelled yesterday. And this was the 7th time that my marriage was cancelled. This world was unfair to me, so I had to kill myself and enjoy another life. The only reason I will not kill myself is when you agree to take my hands in marriage." Emeka doesn't know what to do. He knows that the lady will definitely commit suicide if he does not agree to marry her. But he has also promised Nora that he is not going to marry a second wife. Emeka agreed to marry Nosa. He said that he would do it in a way that his wife, Nora, would never know. Emeka didn't really know what to do. So he went straight to his friend, Ode. He told him all that had happened and asked for his advice on what to do. Ade told him that he should go ahead and marry the lady. Emeka asked him, "But do you think it is possible to keep the marriage a secret from Nora?" Ade laughs at him. "Well, I think you have a small brain. I want you to rent a house next to Nora's house so that both of your wives will be neighbors. You are going to tell each of your wives that, as life is becoming harder, you will have to put more effort into farming. So you will sleep 1 day at home and 1 day on the farm. So you will be swapping between your 2 wives each day. When you are in Nora's house, Nosa will think that you are on the farm. And likewise, when you are in Nosa's house, Nora will think that you are on the farm. Don't worry about your farm, I have got you covered. From now on, I will take care of your farm." Emeka thanked his friend very much for the wise advice. And Emeka did according to his friend's advice, and everything went smoothly. Emeka didn't want to lie to his wives, but he had no option but to lie for the happiness of each of them. Both Nora and Nosa are very happy. Emeka took good care of them, even though it wasn't his plan to marry them. One fateful day, Emeka was on his way to his friend's house to ask him about the status of his farm. Then two huge men come and stand at his front. Before he could say a word, they poured powder on his face, and immediately he lost consciousness. When Emeka opened his eyes, he just found himself in an unknown house, and there stood 7 men and 1 lady. One of the guys told him, "Young man, we don't have much to say. Noma is our sister. She is unlucky to find herself among 7 brothers. She is going to be your wife from today on. You must take good care of her. And you should never hurt her. We will put a spy on you from now on. If you make the slightest mistake, we are going to kill you." Emeka doesn't even know what to say because those guys are the terrorists in the village. It was even said that those guys killed their own parents. Emeka held Noma's hand and went straight to his friend's house. He explained everything to his friend. His friend told him to rent another house close to Nora and Nosa's house so the 3 of his wives would be neighbors. They are discussing all this in front of his new wife, but she couldn't understand the language they were speaking. His friend told him, "Now that you have an additional wife, you should tell each of your wives that from now on, you will be sleeping for 2 days on the farm and 1 day at home because the work on the farm is too much." Emeka thanked his friend for the wise advice. Emeka lied to his wives for the 2nd time. Anytime that Emeka is with Nora, Nosa and Noma will think that he is at the farm. The next day, he will be with Nosa, while Nora and Noma will think that he is at the farm. That is how he keeps rotating among his wives. He makes sure that all the 3 wives are happy. Emeka's friend keeps taking good care of his farm. One day, on the village market day, early in the morning, around 6 a.m., Nora, Nosa, and Noma decided to go to the market to buy some food stuff. As Nora came out of her house, her neighbor Nosa greeted her. She saw her holding a basket. Nora asked her, "Are you also going to the market?" Nosa replied sarcastically, "No, I am going to a funeral." She added, "You are seeing me holding a basket on market day, and you are asking me this question." They both burst with laughter. Nora said, "I don't know that God has blessed me with a funny neighbor like you." As they were talking, Noma came out of her house, and she saw Nora and Nosa. She asked them, "Are you also going to the market?" They both replied at once, "No, we are going to a funeral." Noma was shocked at their response. Then they told her that they were just joking. That was the beginning of the friendship. They all went to the market together that day. When Nora returns home, she tells her husband about her new friends. She told him that her new friends are living in the neighborhood, and it will be good if they visit the neighbors together. Emeka told his wife maybe another day, but not today. Emeka doesn't know what to do, as what he was keeping secret will soon be revealed. He was confused and didn't know what to do. So that day, he went to his friend's house and told him about the current situation. Emeka said, "Maybe I should expose what I am keeping secret to my wives before they find out the truth themselves." He asked his friend for his own suggestion. His friend smiles at him and tells him not to panic because there is a way out. He told him what to say to all his wives. Emeka thanked his friend and left. When Emeka reached home, he told Nora that if she loved him, she should not allow him to visit their neighbors because he was a very weak man. He can easily fall in love with other women. He added, I am telling you this because I love you very much, and I don't want to fall in love with another woman apart from you. And if your friends are coming to visit you, I will go to my room. If they inquire about your husband, tell them that he is sleeping, Nora said. Thank God that you have told me about your weakness. I will never allow my friends to see you because I love you and I don't want to share you with any woman. The next day, he goes to Nosa's house. Nosa also tells him about her new friends. Emeka told Nosa that if she didn't want to lose him to her friends, she should never allow them to meet. And she promised him that, by all means, she would not allow her friends to meet him. Emeka said the same thing to Noma, his third wife, for some months. That is how the three wives keep on hiding their husbands from each other, not knowing that they are sharing the same husband. One blessed day, Emeka went to the market to buy some fruits. He came across a beautiful girl who was selling fruit named Emeka. Emeka's greatest dream was to marry a fat man. When she met him, she said in her heart, "This is my dream coming true." She gave him all the fruit that he asked for but did not charge him any amount. Emeka asked her, "Why won't you collect the money?" She replied, "Because I love you." Emeka was like, "Wow. Thank God for our mutual feelings." He told her that tomorrow he was going to see her parents so that they could arrange for their wedding. The next day, the wedding day was set. Emeka, the fruit seller, invites Nora, Emeka's first wife, to her wedding because she is one of her good customers. When Nora heard this, she was very happy for her, not knowing that it was Emeka who was going to be the husband. Nora also invited her friends, Nosa and Noma, to the wedding, and they all agreed to be at the wedding. On the wedding day, Nora, Nosa, and Noma sat at the same bench. As the bride and groom were entering the ceremonial ground, the three friends at once whispered the name Emeka. All of them were surprised that they called Emeka's name at once. Then Nora told her friends, "This is my husband. He never told me that he was going to marry me." Nosa said, "Stop joking. For real, he is my husband. This man has cheated me." Then Nosa said, "You guys can act very well. Since my husband decided to do this to me, I will teach him a lesson." Nosa then stood up and went straight to Emeka. Before he opens his mouth to talk, Nosa gives him a hot, dirty slap on the cheek. Emeka just put his face down. Then Nosa started speaking to the public. "This man that you are seeing is a shameless husband. I am his wife, yet he chooses to marry another woman without my notice. I will never forgive this shameless fat man." As Nosa was still talking, Nora came out of the congregation and also landed a hot slap on Emeka's cheek. Emeka did not say a word. He just put his face down. Nora said, "This man is also my husband. Before we married, he promised me that he would not marry any woman. This man has lied to me. Thank God I don't have his child. I am going my way. If he likes it, let him marry the whole world." Noma also came out and slapped Emeka. She says, "You are not worth being a husband. Emeka, his bride, is just watching the drama. She also felt sorry for the 3 wives. She then turned and raised her hand to slap Emeka. But before she knew it, her hand was still hanging in the air because Emeka held her hand.